All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on what is basically a global treasure hunt. We're going to unearth the secrets behind finding all the essential materials that, literally build our modern world.
For hundreds of years, the whole process of finding stuff underground was, well, more of an art than a science. You had methods like dowsing or water witching, which this cartoon just perfectly sums up. I doubt he'll find water, but you gotta admire his confidence. It's kind of funny, right? But it's a great reminder of how far we've come from, just hoping for the best to a much, much more scientific approach.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we actually move from that confident guesswork to a precise scientific way of finding what's buried deep inside the Earth?
Well, the answer, it's a whole field called mining exploration. This is the very first, and you could argue the most critical, stage of the entire mining industry. It's the part that turns a huge empty landscape into a tiny, specific pinpoint on a map.
So what is exploration, really? At its core, it's all about answering some really important questions before a single shovel hits the dirt. Like, is there even a valuable deposit here? If there is, where is it? How big is it? What's the quality like? It's this methodical process that turns what might be a hunch into a very calculated bet.
But why do we need such a rigorous process in the first place? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental challenge, trying to map something you can't see and finding these hidden deposits.
See, the Earth's treasures, they're not spread out evenly like butter on toast. Not at all. They're actually concentrated in very specific and often very remote spots, all thanks to billions of years of really complex geological forces.
Just look at these geological maps of Indonesia. They're a perfect example. All that mineral wealth, it isn't everywhere. You can see it's clustered along fault lines and in these ancient volcanic regions. This is exactly what explorers are up against. They're looking for needles in a global haystack.
So why go to all this trouble? Why is it so critical? Because mining is an incredibly expensive business. We're talking billions of dollars. And when you're dealing with that kind of risk, you just can't afford to guess. You need as much certainty as you can get. Exploration is what gives you the data to reduce that massive financial risk and make the whole thing even possible.
So if this whole process is so complex and high stakes, how do the experts even think about it? Well, it turns out they often boil it all down to a pretty simple mantra. Just 3 secret ingredients for success. Yep, it's as simple as this: explorer, money, and luck. That's the secret recipe. Sounds almost too simple, right? But trust me, each one of those components is absolutely vital. In this little cartoon, it just perfectly captures that 3-part idea. It tells the entire story of a successful discovery in just 6 panels. So let's break it down.
Okay, so it all starts right here, with the explorer. This represents the human element, right? It's the geologist's expertise, their scientific knowledge, their persistence, their ability to even know where to begin looking. They're the ones who have the vision.
But of course, vision alone isn't going to get you very far. That hard hat and pickaxe, in the real world, that represents things like advanced sensors, huge drilling rigs, and entire teams of people. And all of that points to the second key ingredient: money. Exploration takes a serious financial investment to pay for all the technology you need to see beneath the ground.
And here we go, the final piece of the puzzle. Our explorer, with all his skills and his fancy equipment, he gets a signal. He happens to be in the right place at the right time. And that's luck. Because even with the best science and unlimited funding, there's still a huge element of good fortune in making one of those truly world-class discoveries.
So, what happens when the explorer, the money, and the luck all come together? A discovery is made. But that's really just the beginning of a whole new journey. The journey of moving that discovery from just an idea to something that can actually be mined. And that journey follows a pretty clear path. It starts out as potential, just a promising area on a map. Then, through exploration, it might become a resource, which means, okay, we've confirmed something's actually there. With a lot more study to prove it's economical to mine, it gets upgraded to a reserve. And only after it's been dug up and processed does it become the final commodities that we use every day.
And here you can see where it all fits into the bigger picture. See that word at the beginning, explorasi? That's exploration. It's the critical first spark that ignites this entire industrial chain, from studies to production to processing. Put simply, without that first step, none of the rest can ever happen.
So, we've seen how it all works, but let's bring it home. Why does this global quest, this treasure hunt, matter so much? How does it actually connect back to our everyday lives?
Well, the fruits of this hunt, the treasure, it's literally all around us.
It's the raw materials in our homes, our cars, our electronics. It's the energy that powers our cities. It's a huge driver of economic growth for entire countries. And it even creates stable financial tools like gold.
And all of that brings us to this really powerful statement. Without mining, there is no civilization. I mean, when you really think about everything we just talked about, from the Stone Age to the digital age, it's kind of hard to argue with that, isn't it? Our ability to find and use what the Earth provides has really defined human progress. So, here's a final thought for you. The next time you pick up your phone or drive your car, or even just flip on a light switch, just take a second and think about the incredible global treasure hunt that made it all possible. A journey that started with an explorer, an investment, and, yeah, a little bit of luck.